Section 6.2.1 Development of Modern Prisons. Hello, I'm Dr. Adam McKee, and today we're discussing the historical and modern processes involved in classifying and treating prisoners, a key topic from my book, Criminal Justice, an overview of the system. We'll explore the evaluation and assignment process for prisoners, the evolution of penitentiary systems, and the shifts in correctional philosophies over time. Let's get started. When people are convicted of a crime, they may be sent to prison. However, before they are sent to their final destination, they go through a process where they are evaluated based on various factors such as the type of crime they committed, their criminal history, risk of escape, health issues, and any behavioral problems they may have. This is done at a classification or reception facility. The purpose of this evaluation is to determine how dangerous the offender is and what kind of treatment they need. After the assessment, the prison staff will assign the prisoner to a specific prison based on the evaluation results. When choosing which prison to assign the prisoner, the primary concern is safety, followed by practical concerns such as the availability of bed space. The prisoner's individual needs are also considered. However, the prisoner has almost no say in which facility they are assigned to. Sometimes, prisoners may request to be moved to a facility closer to their family, but this is not always possible because of security concerns and bed availability. Female inmates often face more challenges because there are fewer prisons specifically designed for them. This means that they may be housed far away from their families, and there may be no options available that are closer. Before the 1800s, many countries that followed common law relied heavily on physical punishments. However, in the 18th century, some people started to question the use of physical punishments and advocated for the reform of offenders instead. One of these early reformers was John Howard, who proposed the use of penitentiaries. Penitentiaries were places where offenders could engage in work and reflection as a way of atoning for their misdeeds. The term, penitent, refers to the feelings of sorrow and regret that come with having done wrong. Prisoners were kept in solitary cells to create the appropriate atmosphere for reflection. Philadelphia's Walnut Street Jail was one of the first attempts to model the European penitentiaries. The system used there later became known as the Pennsylvania system. Inmates were kept in small, dark cells, and no communication was allowed. Critics of this system began to speak out against the practice of solitary confinement early on, as they believed it was emotionally damaging to inmates. The New York system evolved along similar lines with the opening of the Auburn Penitentiary in 1819. This facility used what came to be known as the congregate system. Inmates spent their nights in individual cells but were required to congregate in workshops during the day. Work was taken very seriously, and talking was not allowed while on the job or during meals. Prisons in the South and West were different from those in the Northeast. In the Deep South, the lease system was used, where businesses negotiated with the state to exchange convict labor for the care of inmates. Prisoners were primarily used for hard manual labor, such as logging, cotton picking, and railroad construction. In the West, Eastern ideas of penology did not catch on, except in California, where many frontier prisoners were held in federal military prisons. By the mid-19th century, overcrowding and understaffing had led to deplorable prison conditions across the country. The National Prison Association, which would later become the American Correctional Association, issued a Declaration of Principles in 1870, which expressed the idea that prisons should be operated according to the philosophy that prisoners should be reformed and that reform should be rewarded with release from confinement. This ushered in the reformatory movement. The Elmira Reformatory, which opened in 1876 under the leadership of Zebulon Brockway, was one of the earliest prisons to adopt this philosophy. Brockway ran the reformatory according to the idea that education was the key to inmate reform. Inmates that followed the rules were classified at higher levels of privilege, and they earned credits toward release under a marked system. This was a shift away from the doctrine of proportionality and toward indeterminate sentences and community corrections. The rehabilitation model gained momentum in the 1930s as psychology and other social and behavioral sciences became popular. This was essentially a medical model in which criminality was seen as a disease that could be cured. However, rising crime rates and a changing prison population led to a shift toward the crime control model in the 1970s, with a focus on punishment and lengthy prison sentences. This led to a dramatic increase in prison populations and corrections expenditures, which many states can no longer sustain. As a result, there is a growing emphasis on community corrections and a move back toward a rehabilitative model. Understanding these historical shifts in correctional philosophies and practices is crucial for appreciating the complexities of the modern prison system. The focus has oscillated between punishment and rehabilitation, influenced by societal values and the prevailing understanding of criminal behavior. In summary, the classification and treatment of prisoners have evolved significantly over time. From early physical punishments to the development of penitentiaries and reformatories, and the shifts between rehabilitative and punitive models, the correctional system continues to adapt. Today, there is a renewed emphasis on rehabilitation and community corrections, reflecting a more balanced approach to managing and reforming offenders. Thanks for watching. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. And if you have any questions or topics you'd like me to cover, leave them in the comments below. See you next time.